Alright, so here we have our last League of Legends match. We're gonna have Matt and Roth on Fizz and Echo, both assassin-like. Both of them will probably have problems against LeBlanc in mid, and Aurelia in top, I'm not... or Aurelia jungle, actually. Volibear top. We'll end up sending Matt against Volibear and hope that he can proc that passive, but it's gonna be tough matchups either way. Also going to be a fairly weak lane in bot lane, even though the Jinx nerfs will make it so that this is a more even lane where we're both more late game oriented. Here we do have something interesting that Justin does see that ward get placed down up here, but still comes out here, doesn't actually drop his ward. And ends up with LeBlanc actually captured over here to even start this game. Still, we should probably get to a ward drop here just so that we can see that vision. Does end up dropping it there though. Forced to go back from that, but nothing really major there so far. Normal early game setup. Don't really know where anyone's started on either team at this point. End up pinging Roth to come over here just to check to make sure they aren't invading our red, since they did get some ward coverage off over by our blue area. Though we did manage to avoid enough so they can see that starting position. And we're off to the races here. Echo's matchups are pretty new, but this is supposedly going to be a fairly hard one here for Roth. Matt actually having a little bit of trouble against the Volibear, but chunking him for 4 minutes. Jinx pushing up and bottom. We see Roth does manage to hit level 2 here, but quickly followed up by Matt. Hitting level 2 first, immediately going in as Fizz. Actually has a huge creep wave here too to support this. So, doesn't quite manage to pop that passive yet. Roth starting to burn the flask. Quite a few trades here. I need to get quicker on that shield for that. We do see Aurelia start to come into mid after having just cleared the bottom. And Roth does manage to just barely escape. A good escape there. It's not a normal gank to see coming off of that bottom lane there. Justin with a slightly slower clear, taking the double buffs first, doesn't get up there in time. And actually has his gank at 351. A little slower than like, but burns a volley flash. Meanwhile, we're pushed in at bot lane. Actually, I want to go back and take a look at that to see. After Justin ends up ganking, he sits up here to try and keep the volley actually off of the farm. Do that push up. Matt actually gets the wave to freeze out here. Justin's being in this bush. Three. 4 CS denied. 5. 6. 7. And they go in for it. Yeah, 7 creeps, first blood. Quite a bit of a long camp, but enough to actually get the kill. However, that does mean Roth actually starting to come back 19 to 18, despite being forced early back. They're holding it low. Bot lane is starting to get low down here. On both sides. Aurelia actually choosing to clear out her top jungle here now. We do see the teleport top. Matt without teleport, but that's gonna even it out since we don't really know what we're gonna see in bot lane here. But we do see the gank, we see Justin come in, get an exhaust off, and this is going to get a kill on the Jinx. It's a good gank. Point, both junglers continuing to farm up. We are up 1.3k actually here, and we do see Aurelia start to come in. Haven't seen Aurelia on the map for a while. Roth's trinket is up though. Actually, all of our trinkets are up without a lot of vision on the map. As you can currently see here, making this push fairly dangerous. We've been pushed in bot lane, so not a lot we can see there, but yeah, overall vision kind of poor is going to make this hurt quite a bit, despite the 4 CS lead there. Currently sitting at 27 to 34 in bot lane, so we are struggling despite the kill there. Let's see, this gank comes in, Roth does manage to get away. Let's see if Aurelia only gets off. Roth clears the way. Gets poked and manages to head back. Meanwhile, Matt uses to re-engage the Volibear at this point, gets his fish off, and the passive just barely too much. Hello? Hey. I texted you. Hi. Brooke? Yeah. Hi. How are you? Hi. Hi. here's where things start to get dangerous for bot lane. As we're approaching that level 6 mark, knowing that Annie is going to have tippers up pretty soon. Roth engaging, Rose actually dying. Actually brings Aurelia mid. So because of that engage, just stuck in mid lane, and we're like struggling down here in bot, worrying about this Tibbers tower dive here with low health. At this point, Roth does come bottom. However, Justin ends up going back entirely. So we end up not seeing the Aurelia come in for this lane gank, though we do know Annie is down in this bush. We end up going in. Getting the kill off there, however, Aurelia comes away with that double kill, and Annie's able to get the stun off. Meanwhile, the Matt Volibear struggle continues to go on. Yeah, that engage in mid with Roth dying, and then Justin following up and not actually being forced back as well, ends up not able to help because of that, and we end up not quite having the force we need in bot lane with that counter gank. And LeBlanc ends up going top after that too and getting the kill on that. Roth attempting to come in here. Of course, they're the long way around, but not much other than that. That Annie poke, man, so much damage. You do see Aurelia start to come in. Roth recognizes it comes back. Justin's still farming, still sitting to go over the pit. Or with LeBlanc back at base. Aurelia is still mid. And ends up getting double killed down bot lane. Go back and take some real quick. Here we see the initial poke from Annie. Her Tipper's coming up soon. That poke for me was a little bit dangerous there. We end up closing getting close to each other here. Tibbers comes off on me. And that is the double kill. Burns in the Annie flash. And an all, but definitely worth it, especially with the all here. Really fast, not quite the rocket. repositioning when I got cut out a little too far here and ended up coming back here. Matt, meanwhile, able to continue fighting, but just not able to deal with Folly's sustain.
Has been destroyed.
At this point, we're down 3 kills. 3 kills and 20 CS in bot lane. We are down 47 to 44 mid lane. And top lane is 69 to 48. Matt's still up in CS, but only one still winning his lane here. So we see the double gank coming in for bot here. Actually end up releasing Tornado early, but because they used that time to actually go in on Steve. But with a focus on there, Justin ends up chasing way too far for that Jinx after getting shot, ends up dying because of it. Steve's forced to flash, I'm forced to ult them away. So what should have ended up probably being in our favor, because they went on Steve and good choice there, they were able to take away that kill. Come back to the beginning of that.
Shut down.
I think I went back too far. A block chase, man. Okay. Roth probably could have gotten that with, so we should still be able to get this. Probably just cover the flash out of that. From here we need to turn on the Annie since she's actually backed off. Yeah, Justin continues to chase without. That's an easy kill. Where? Where's our LeBlanc went back during that? At this point, Steve continuing to farm as it's pushed up. We actually have kind of a freeze going on here at the moment. Pushed up still. Our vision, not too great, a little bit here and there. They don't really have a lot of sight either to see what's going on now, so not much either way. We are actually down 1.1k at this point. And they're up the shield. What is that? You get her passive proc though. Pings here of Annie and Jinx coming. Back up just a bit. So we're here. Annie and Jinx get pinged. We see Aurelia coming in. Remember, Roth manages to stay. Comes in. Justin actually comes in and ults that. However, that's way too late after Roth is dead, ends up getting not a lot from that, and the other two show up. Ends up flashing in. We end up poking a lot of them down, but not actually enough damage to finish anyone off. That fish ends up missing. That comes up. Really is able to kill. I just want to go back. Maybe slow this down a little bit. So, from our perspective, we only see LeBlanc. We don't know where the rest of them are, making this somewhat dangerous. So I start rotating mid. Thinking maybe if LeBlanc comes in, I can turn it with my shield, and she does, but ends up backing off. At this point, we proc her passive. We see Annie and Jinx on the mini-map, and it does get pinged over here, which means we need to start backing off from this point. However, Aurelia's already shown up here. The Roth is forced back. However, Justin comes in and ends up ulting, but because he only catches Aurelia, it's not enough either to save Roth or to actually end up stunning Aurelia, making that a wasted ult at the start of this team fight. With Steve on his way and Matt trying to rotate over, there is a chance we could do more with that, but we need to just let Roth die, end up dying here, despite his damage to both of those. So from there, we see that we knew these two were coming in. We needed to be backing off. We needed to be backing off this way up here because of where they were coming in. And meanwhile, we can then regroup around here over to tower, or back off entirely up this way. Instead, what ends up happening is Justin picks this way to go around and ends up getting caught. Annie does have her stun up even if Tibbers is on cooldown, meaning that this is going to leave Justin completely vulnerable here to both the Jinx and the with the Annie stun, and a burst from LeBlanc when her cooldowns are up. Steve sees this, ends up ulting, knows he needs to get Jinx away from this. My stuff is generally on cooldown, but I'm not much good for more than a shield and a knockup because I'm not going to be able to follow in the direction he picked. So if we start to look at this engage here, Steve immediately comes in on the Jinx, trying to force her to back off. Annie actually saving the stun here. Matt seeing the hoping to catch Annie out. We actually have Tibbers come up, gets the stun off on Steve, and now I'm forced to come back in this direction. With Steve down, Justin's ult down, we don't have a lot of potential to actually stun here to catch this, and we still have these two backing off, with Volibear now missing from top lane. As we come in, we end up switching from the Annie to the Jinx, just trying to get that 80 carry damage done. Justin ends up flashing here, but doesn't end up using any of the abilities. Kind of a wasted flash since he was within range anyway to do that, especially with the Janna slow. However, now we end up having both him and Matt grouped up here as LeBlanc and Aurelia are staring this down on a low health Justin. From there, they are able to burst him down, making that flash cost him both his death as well as not getting the damage. The knockup does manage to come down, catching both Aurelia and Matt, but Matt's forced to back off until his cooldowns come back up. And at this point, we're currently facing a 3v4 with Volibear up, even if they are low. I end up going in too far at this point, hoping to catch the Jinx, and the anti-stun does get that. I end up flashing out of the way to try and get back. LeBlanc flashing up and manages the... there. Matt tries to come back in and re-engage from the side, but now we're looking at a 2v4 as Volibear has reappeared top lane. This ult, if he had actually caught that on someone, would probably be able to finish it off, but as it's not, it becomes incredibly risky. And here he goes for the kill, trying to, and does manage to get the LeBlanc. However, this results in him being stuck here as opposed to turning on the Annie, who he probably could have been able to finish off without the danger of going in. Manages to get the double kill, flashes away. Still kind of risky. I end up trying to come in to get in the way, but I end up just dying myself.
Double kill. Aced.
So yeah, definitely a risky play from Matt. Ended up kind of going even, but me not realizing he could pick up the double kill without help results in turning that around the wrong way. And they end up pushing down our turret, taking that one there. Volibear is able to take top lane, and we ended up losing that 3v5 finish. So here we know they're going back, they're low. Dragon is up though, so we start heading that direction. Which seems like the right call with two going back, Volibear in top lane. However, I actually wanted to back up there. I went a little bit too far forward. So, without vision on them, knowing Volibear's top, Roth needs to be backing off here, and ends up staying way too long. Annie's able to come up, and then he chooses to go back in after almost getting away, and ends up resulting in just a slow death for nothing there. Now we're trying to burst down this dragon, knowing they're coming. Managed to end up catching Amy, that's a good catch. We're able to get that, and alt LeBlanc off a little bit here as the TP is coming in. However, just engages on that Volibear, able to pick him off, but that results in these two getting left here. Justin actually has his ult up at this point, and starts walking this direction, but because these two aren't able to get off, they come this way. So what we really need here is for Justin to know that they're not going to get away from that. Come back in this way and ult them so that these two can get away this way. He might die for this, but it's going to result in only his death versus the death of our two carries at this point. Instead, that ends up going, if I slow this down a little bit, Aurelia starts ulting, Justin ends up walking all the way back up here, and she, LeBlanc and her are able to catch them, getting a double kill. Justin actually coming back around again, despite not ulting the first time. They end up taking our blue here either way. Roth trying to clear out mid. We're actually down 6k at this point in the game from some of these poor engages and poor battle choices. So we do have Aurelia there, but we don't actually end up knowing because we don't have a lot of vision. End up trying to ward. Yeah, our vision at this point is still pretty poor here. We do have an ADC fight down here. Still miss the Aurelia. So we end up collapsing with 3 of us, but Jinx ends up seeing it coming, getting away. And we rotate mid to try and deal with this. So we do end up seeing those two coming through here. However, this kind of want to talk about coming up here. So trying to get vision here. Justin gets hooked trying to clear that ward. Not entirely terrible. Not a lot we can do here with what we see. Just a lot of not knowing what's going on. Justin gets hooked. And end up with 4 of us in the jungle. Not really a fight we want in the jungle at this point with us so far down. So the big worry here is that they collapse one way or the other since we're split 3-2. But we do manage to get some wards up through here so that we can see any kind of like truly bad collapse. Roth actually starting to clear this. There's a Volibear and a LeBlanc. Good moves there. So here we end up seeing that there were 2 mid. Justin tries to come around this way, along with Matt. And we see LeBlanc coming in. We manage to get a pick from ward coverage over here. Problem here being, well, we did manage to pick some of LeBlanc and force her to use all that away. They started to collapse with Aurelia and Annie. Ever turning that with that salt. We're able to quickly burst Annie down. That's done. Get the exhaust off on Aurelia, keeping her off as well. So some generally good moves there, 2 for nothing. Still have to worry about that LeBlanc though. Justin ends up coming up here chasing Jinx, but we still have no idea where this LeBlanc went. But she's over here trying to take off this crap. The danger is if we chase too far and she comes around and picks someone off, but we've still got 3v2. So, not too bad there. Jinx ends up flashing away. LeBlanc ends up coming in. Steve and I chase one direction. LeBlanc ends up getting away the other direction. But overall, we've managed to take down 3 of them, get a little back in. However, Roth goes too far. Ends up having to
Big Map moved in from root by the server. Cast back. Big Map moved. Start craft 2.
Hey. I thought I'd do an analysis of one of our League of Legends games.
Just speaking to yourself?
Yep.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm down to go hit golf balls if you want in like probably like 15 minutes.
Yep.
Ish. Yeah, 15-20 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll be back.
I don't know if I'm gonna go on, so I'm probably gonna keep cleaning.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Sounds good.
Where are we going? Are we going to Flatirons or what?
Yeah, we could go to Flatirons.
I mean, I don't care. Like, what's the other options?
Probably like one in Thornton or like Coal Creek if that's open now.
Coal Creek is not open yet.
I think Highlands might actually be one of the next closest to us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess going to Flatirons makes the most sense.
Okay. Sounds
Cool.
good. Yeah,
Cat's bats. Big Mac moved to AFK.
Alright. So we end up getting that. Pushing up here. Not a lot of coverage. We don't really know where they are. At this point, we've narrowed that gap down to 2k though.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Ended up attacking it a little bit too much to get this push, but Jinx comes up anyway, so we're forced to back off. We see a couple mid. Not any real engages we want to take at this point. So everyone ends up backing. Let's kind of regroup here in mid. Speed it up a little bit here. Everyone starts to head off in different directions. I end up going back since they end their push. They end up collapsing 4 here into bot lane. Justin does manage to get away upon seeing them though. Roth ends up caught though. So right here, we see 4 of them coming here. Aurelia is missing. We actually do have a ward there. But yeah, with this, anything in this area, Roth is generally going to have problems with. So despite clearing this wave, he's probably going to want to retreat up toward the area where Matt is. However, he ends up trying to go that direction, ends up caught by Aurelia, trying to escape, ults back, but ends up getting caught by Bull there. So, a little bit from the lack of wards coverage after that last fight, and a little bit from backing off in the direction of their team. So, Volibear ends up teleporting to try and deal with that. He ends up actually able to burst this down. Still an Aurelia on the way though. Matt ends up almost able to get away. Meanwhile, we're still having a bit of a dance here in bot lane. Yeah, Matt ends up getting away. With LeBlanc pushing mid. That's a little bit more of a loss. We're taking some tower damage. Off getting kind of hurt there. However, at this point we see Aurelia top, LeBlanc mid, and we have a 3v2 in bot, so Justin needs to come around and goes, but he ends up pausing here. Does get a really nice ult though off. That's going to result in a double kill here. So, good use of vision there, good catch. End up getting, bursting LeBlanc down at least too. So, good trades overall, closing the gap to just 1k at this point. With Dragon up, and we're able to actually transition that into a Dragon even with Aurelia here. LeBlanc does come in for the steal, but we get it, and Roth's able to fall over the wall for a nice easy kill.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Mistake from LeBlanc ends up giving us a 5v4 here as we try to push mid. We actually have them sent off. Justin ends up getting caught and burst it down, however. Just running straight over those chompers. We're forced to retreat. Steve a little low on health. However, we're able to get a nice turn on that. Matt Fish takes out Jing. Aurelia is not able to engage on us correctly. Sonya comes off. And we're able to get that chase here. We're all really nice engagement from that point. And Matt's able to pick up low stragglers staying around for a bit. So, really nice turn. Actually gives us the lead at this point. Able to get away with this tower. Jinx is up, but nice flash from Steve. We're able to take that hib and disengage and get away. However, we are pretty low at this point, and they realize that we're going back, so we needed to start watching out for Baron. Justin coming up after seeing this should have actually headed straight over here as they worry about that, but instead starts to come down here to clear his jungle. Roth also headed over here. I mean, that's a little, like, at least needs to go back or something. Steve did kind of stick around, but is too low to do anything about this and can get just bursted over the wall. So because these two headed bot, we're unable to actually contest this dragon, or at least like delay it. Matt ends up getting there, but just not soon enough. So they end up getting away with Baron. Would have been a hard thing to contest at this point, but definitely something we easily could have had everyone headed there after that fight instead of toward bot lane. However, we've actually increased our lead. At this point, Matt is pretty fed at 12 kills. Steve's decently coming along, and Roth's got his Lich Bane and a large rod, and we're able to actually finish here. Ends up hurting, but anything's that can catch at this point. At this point, we see Annie. We're pinging that. Justin's here clearing that, and we have, with Matt coming around, a way to actually come and collapse on her. So you start to see, ever she backs off, Jinx is coming up. And yeah, we're forced to regroup. Steve going back to buy at this point, probably with a lot of gold, as he still hasn't been back since before that Baron. So despite Baron, they're still kind of kept in their base here. Speed this up a little bit as people go back and buy. So at this point, they start using their Baron to try and push up mid. Presumably stop the super minions, but it's going to be a really hard engage since their main engage here is going to be that Annie Tibbers. However, we do have a shield, a lot of disengage. Roth actually ends up behind them. I'm not so sure about this because you don't end up with the defensive Echo ult. But with him coming in from behind, we end up with Matt's ult. So I'm going to slow this down a little bit here. As it's a really nice ult. Justin comes in, ends up getting the stun on both Jinx, on 3 of them. So we're able to instantly eliminate Jinx from the fight, as well as burst LeBlanc for a decent portion of damage with Rock coming in. And that leaves really only the Annie for damage, as she's not able to get into a good position for the Tibbers. LeBlanc forced to back off defensively. And from here we're able to chase down Aurelia, as that Vayne damage at this point is real. Fully forced to back off that ult. And we're able to win an engage just by deleting their squishy team by the Baron buff. Now the John is slow, we're able to catch up to the Volibear. versus 10 down, and we actually make that a 5 for 0. It's a really nice engage at that point.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So here we end up trying to push down more turrets. Transition to about a 5k lead. However, Steve ends up almost getting bursted down, but instead we're actually able to pick off that Annie. LeBlanc, seeing the low health Vayne, actually ends up chasing really far in. However, both Justin and I have everything up at this point, with Matt pushing bottom down here or off top. So as she comes in, we're able to slow her, stun her, and exhaust her. And in general, she's not really able to get that burst off. Ends up being forced to go back. Aurelia and Jinx come in to try and follow up. Very risky play from them. Get the knock up on Jinx to get the heal. Roth is able to collapse on that, and the heal is enough for us to finish off Jinx over here as well. Matt just down here, not pushing bottom, and we went 3 for 0, forcing LeBlanc all the way back to base.
Blue team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
And that's going to be a second inhibitor as well.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
And Dragon comes up, so we end up heading over there. We're at currently 2 dragons to 0, so this will... That'll give us that dragon buff. 30 minutes in. And we end up packing content. We have a pretty hefty lead at this point. 1 inhibitor down, another one open. And they come in to try and find it. Baron about 2 minutes up at this point. Kind of speed things up. We end up seeing the LeBlanc come in. John and Tornado and force back out. They're still really looking for that Annie Tibbers engage, but just still haven't been able to get it. So, maybe not realizing how far they're down, they try and end up sieging mid. But without a lot to go here. And they end up just kind of getting forced back. However, we do end up having a lot of speed and slow to kind of catch up here. And we just kind of use her engage to push up here. They're forced to come back and deal with the super minions. And at this point, they're going to have to engage on us here to hold on to this. They do start to kind of push up. Tornado comes in. And this is looking to be the fight of the game. We get the stun off on that over here. And LeBlanc tries to come in, but Justin's able to force her to back off. So at this point, we end up having Jinx back here to deal with this, so this is really a 4v3 at this point. And we're able to kind of collapse on the Annie despite the nivers. Really only catches Matt, but actually ends up flashing away and ends up dying. A failed ult for me doesn't really help there, but at this point we're so far ahead. Steve has free reign to just attack. And yeah, they pretty much just left Steve alone. Triple kill for Vayne at 33 minutes. And that looks to be game. Tries to come in. And does victory. Oh, I accidentally paused it. So yeah, some rough engages there, some bad choices to re-engage and bad pathing. Made that kind of rough early, but our team fighting against that comp especially, we were able to just avoid the anti-ult with the double assassin. She's not really able to target our damage with Vayne at the back and our two assassins at the front, essentially eliminating that and able to just jump on their LeBlanc and Jinx, and it really has left them with only the Aurelia that can't really seem to figure out who to engage on at that point. So, good fighting from there. Let me know if you want more of these, and yeah.